Hey guys, I'm Dan. I had a channel on here before. It was called Danomax Wrestle Station. Didn't make videos for a month or so and closed it down. Coming back now, a little more passionate and to make the videos. And I'm back with this new channel. And the first video here is going to be a review of TNA's last pay-per-view of the year, TNA Resolution. Final Resolution, actually, sorry. So, yeah, this is just a little kind of review of TNA's Final Resolution. Of course, the final pay-per-view of the year, and it's supposed to be the final shot to resolve any issues, you know? And, so anyways, the pay-per-view opened with Morgan and Hardy. Like a video of Morgan and Hardy hyping their match, the main event, of course. Matt Morgan versus Jeff Hardy with Mr. Anderson as the special guest referee. So it was just a video hyping up that main event match. And yeah, so then we moved into our first match after that video package. Ink Inc. versus Beer Money, a #1 contenders match for the tag titles. Like this team, Beer Money, of course, when their entrance, Beer Money, I cheered along. Moore and Neil, a good tag team. They could probably have some good matches with Generation Me and the Guns. Fast offense, double team moves. Sent Beer Money to the outside. Came back in. Ink Inc. continued to dominate with double team moves, but Beer Money would begin to gain some offense, and Beer Money though would pick up the win. Both great tag teams. Both can be good tag teams here in TNA. Just don't do WWE. Don't split them up. When you have a good tag team, keep them going for a bit. You don't need to have a tag team for about a year and then break them up at the next pay-per-view and have that as your mid-card main event. You know, as a mid-card match. You know, keep your tag teams together. You know, tag team wrestling doesn't need to die. It doesn't need to go away. It just needs to be worked on when it's at a time where it's not as strong as it used to be. Match 2, Falls Count Anywhere, Tara versus Mickie James. I guarantee you that tonight on Raw, we're not going to see Alicia Fox versus Layla in a Falls Count Anywhere match, you know. This is more physical than a match in WWE with the Divas. I worried at first that the match was going to stay grounded around the ring, but it evolved to other parts of the arena. We'd go into the men's washroom with guys running out of the toilet. One guy was on the stall taking a smoky, and he ran out with his paper without even washing his hands, which was gross. Madison Rayne would come out of one of the stalls and spray down Mickie James with a fire extinguisher, and that would let Tara get the win. And if you wanted to argue the little details of how could Madison Rayne know they were going to be in the men's washroom, Tara was the one that did lead Mickie into the washroom, so it could be argued that they planned it in advance. Match 3 was the X Division Championship match. Robbie E versus Jay Lethal. Cookie's gotten involved so much they're going to hang her in a shark cage so she doesn't get involved. Robbie and Cookie, though, argue with Earl Hebner that Cookie isn't going in that cage. And Cookie starts heading up the ramp, only to get stopped by Shark Boy. And my eyes lit up like a kid on Christmas morning, and I have to admit I went nuts when I saw Shark Boy. I'm probably the most excited I got up to this point in the card. So the bell would ring and this match would be underway. They want to keep the title on Robbie, and they found a way for Robbie to get the win unclean, or at least with some controversy around it. Cookie would throw something down from the shark cage. Robbie E would go to use it. Hebner would take it away, go to dispense of it. She would throw something else. Lethal would intercept it, throw it in Robbie E's eyes. Earl Hebner would see it, call for the bell. Lethal would be DQ'd. Going up the ramp, cannot believe what just happened. Robbie E would be on the ground. kind of, I guess, in pain. Cookie would be parading around with the X Division title while Shark Boy would come back to the ring. They would argue it out. She would slap Shark Boy right across the fins, and he'd lay her out with a stunner, and I pretty much like that so much. I can't tell you how much I love that stunner on Cookie, and hopefully Shark Boy, not just a one-time appearance, get him involved somehow in this X Division title picture. Even I can even see him as a special guest referee at some point. Anyways, match 4 was First Blood, RVD versus Rhino. Crowd seemed into this match as well. They seemed into it. A lot of Rhino sucks and you sold out chants. A lot of boots to the face, hands grouping the face, moves trying to bust the opponent open. It was a First Blood match, you know. They were, you know, doing all the moves to try and bust their opponent open. Only argument I have was a frog splash by RVD, and I don't see what the point of trying a frog splash was. Taz was trying to sell that it could bruise Rhino internally and causing him to cough up blood, but I don't know. Anyways, RVD would hit coast to coast, basically. Rhino up against the bottom of the turnbuckle, RVD on the other side across, and come down, kick the garbage can in the Rhino's face, causing him to bleed. Match 5, TV title match, Douglas Williams, AJ Styles. Going into the pay-per-view last night, this was the match I thought would be the match of the night. I was very interested to see how this would turn out. Love AJ is back with the normal ring jacket. I've not been keeping up on TNA. TNA just has not been entertaining me, not been keeping me interested, and I'd rather spend my time doing something else than watching TNA Impact. But I'm going to watch it this week to see how the fallout from the pay-per-view, and maybe, who knows, maybe it'll get me back into it with a good broadcast tonight. I'm not a big fan of Reaction, but hopefully Impact will be good. But yeah, I love that AJ's back with the normal ring jacket, not his flare kind of robe. Was interested to see Douglas Williams pick up the win with the Styles Clash, and it's going to be interesting to see how they take that. World Tag Team title match, Generation Me versus the Guns, the Motor City Machine Guns, Full Metal Mayhem. Basically TNA's way for a name for a TLC match. My only beef was that the ladder was too short, and I don't know if this was intentional or that it was meant to be to set up the final kind of ending. Basically what would happen is we'd have a ladder like this, 2 ladders to the side. The Guns would set up a table on the top so they could stand on the table and reach the belts. So basically Shelly and Jeremy are out. Max and Sabin, Max Buck, Chris Sabin climb up the ladders with chairs in their hand. They get onto the table. They have chairs. They clash them once, clash them twice. Max Buck drops his chair, gets hit. Sabin hits Max Buck with his chair. Max Buck flies over, or kind of tumbles down off and through a table that was set up in the ring, and it was easily the best TLC tag team match I've seen since the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys. And you'll have to excuse the little bloops. I have my Facebook page open right now, and of course that means I have a message from someone, which I'll answer after this video. Match 7 was a casket match, Abyss versus Pope. Both men would exchange attempts trying to put the other in the casket, but failing. Then Pope would go to close the casket on Abyss, when Abyss would drive his fist through the side of the casket and low blow Pope. And of course Abyss from there would take the match. I don't know what they're going to do with Pope. I mean, he lost to Abyss, there was no interference, and I mean, unless it's like Triple H and Batista, where they had decisive winners. They had a winner, I think, without interference, a 1-2-3 clear winner, but fans were interested to see what would happen if they faced each other again. So if they can keep an interest, then maybe they can do another match or two. But I mean, if they drop it, I don't know what they're gonna do with Pope. Pope seemed like a TNA World Title contender, and now he's a mid-carder. And maybe they need to work on getting Pope back to where he was before. Samoa Joe versus Double J, Jeff Jarrett, submission match. Gunner and Murphy, pre-match beatdown on Samoa Joe. but Samoa Joe would still make it out to the ring for the match. Joe's still over with the fans, with the "Joe's gonna kill you" chants. Joe would challenge Double J to go for a submission, but Joe would have the upper hand, lock in an armbar type move. It was a good match, a lot of MMA submissions. Double J would tap out outside the ring, but no good. Tap out in the ring, but foot under the rope. The fans did not like that. Joe would hit a muscle buster, then that rear choke locked in on Jarrett, but Gunnar and Murphy would get involved. Joe would take them out, but it would let Double J get an ankle lock on an injured leg of Joe, as Double J would pick up the win. Main event, TNA World Heavyweight Championship. First beef of this match: how can a ref make a stipulation in a match? Matt Morgan was pleading with Mr. Anderson to make this match a no DQ match. When did refs get the responsibility of making matches or adding stipulations? Like, Mr. Anderson made this a no DQ match. Like, how can a ref make a match? And then Twist of Hate, they changed it from the Twist of Fate to the Twist of Hate. Like, it doesn't change Hardy's gimmick. I mean, you could say that it was Hardy's fate that he turned on everyone, and he's now the TNA World Champion, if you want to have the finisher to play into the gimmick. But, I mean, I don't get this Twist of Hate thing. Anyways, I don't know what the point of that was, but anyways, Hardy decides to leave the match at one point. Anderson gets the 9, then comes out to tell Hardy to get into the ring. Hardy tells him to do his job and count, and then Hardy would hit Anderson. They would exchange some punches, and Anderson would throw Hardy back into the ring. Hardy would have Morgan beat moments later, but Anderson would not count the 3. Anderson would get bumped on Morgan reversing a Twist of Fate. He'd go for the Twist of Fate. Morgan would push him like that. It would bump Hardy, or it'd bump Anderson out of the ring. Bischoff would appear at the top of the ramp with a new ref. He would come down, he'd pick up Anderson, throw him into the steel post, and throw his new ref into the ring. And Hardy would hit a Twist of Hate on the steel chair to retain the title. So there looks like they're keeping Hardy as champion for a bit. And yeah, I'll tell you the truth, I was resenting watching this pay-per-view. I was really dreading it. I was just going to watch it for the sole purpose of doing this video. But to tell you the truth, it was actually watchable most parts, and I'd give this 7 out of 10. I thought this was going to be a 4 out of 10 pay-per-view, but it proved me wrong, and it's a decent 7 out of 10. And it was actually a pretty good pay-per-view for their last pay-per-view of the year. And yeah, so that's the review. That's my thoughts. That was a little summary of the matches and just my thoughts. I'll be back Tuesday morning with my thoughts on Monday Night Raw. It should be interesting, of course, with Lawler and Cole. I obviously don't think Lawler and Cole should be doing commentary now, because there will be that bickering, that tension. And I mean, if the commentary starts taking away from the matches, then that's gonna be bad. So they gotta get Lawler on SmackDown, maybe. King Sheamus, of course, everyone thinking that this is gonna be the return of the King of Kings, that we'll have the King of the Ring against the King of Kings, Sheamus, Triple H, maybe, who knows. But we'll see how they play out this thing with Sheamus and more of The Miz. Cena and Nexus. I'm a big Nexus fan. I've liked Nexus from the day they came in the door, but they're making us look stupid with this whole Cena thing. Cena has the battery pack on his back. You can clearly see it. He jumps the guardrail and can touch the wrestlers without security jumping on him in an instant. Like, come on, you know. I mean, if you're gonna do this fired thing, then do it right. And everybody said that. People on wrestling rumor sites, wrestling shows, if you're going to do this fired angle, do it right. And I believe that. They should have Cena, like, every week getting arrested by security, but somehow posting bail or something. But basically, just don't have him be able to come in and get 3 shots, you know. Anyways, yeah, Tuesday we'll have a Raw review up. This was my first video. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next time.